Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to check out the latest Old World Almanac, and this time it's going to talk about magic. And I am super excited to go through this, read this. Magic was always one of my favourite parts in Warhammer Fantasy. I love the wackiness and weirdness of some of the spells the game could do. I really loved when they brought out Storm of Magic, which was a magic heavy supplement. We had so much fun playing games of that in my local store when it came out. But we're going to go through the article, we're going to talk a little bit about it, have a look at it all as we get excited to get Old World up and running. And so, to start with, first of all, we have the High Elf Mage. I mean, none more a complete wizard in Warhammer Fantasy than an Elven Mage. Now we are going to look at Wizardry 101 here. The Old World is set in a time before the colleges of magic were established. So this is, definitely a little bit of difference between this and what we know in 8th edition. In 8th edition we had, the battle mages of the H colleges of magic and all that sort of stuff. Imperial Wizards are still very much around and tapping into the 8 winds, but their study of magic had yet to be formalised in human lands. And so that's not to say there aren't laws. There are the 8 in the core rulebook alone, each representing a particular approach to the study of magic, which is slightly different to what we remember. And so we have battle magic, dark magic, demonology, elementalism, high magic, illusion, necromancy, and war magic. Most mages will have access to 2 or more of these, selecting one law at the start of each battle. So straight away, this is a big difference. No law of light, law of heavens, etc. This is a big change. So, be interesting to see what we sort of go. High and dark magic, obviously, are the 2 elves. We then have necromancy and war magic will obviously be sort of reserved for the particular factions that is apparent for. Battle magic, I'm guessing we're going to get like a mix of some of these sort of, combat laws. And demonology will probably be something for chaos. And elementalism, probably something with like fire and all that good stuff. This is going to be really interesting to sort of see how this works. Also, this was one of my favourite pieces of artwork from the old Wood Elf Codex, all the way back in the 5th edition Codex. I believe it's 5th edition. Love this. This is when I first got into Wood Elves. One of my favourite pieces of art. And so each law has 7 spells, with 1 being the signature spell that is available to all its adherents. Every magic user has a level running from 1 to 4. The higher the level, the more puissant the wizard, and the more spells that they know at the start of the game. So, this is very familiar territory here, levels 1 to 4, we mostly know that. Generally, most wizards will start at level 1 or level 3, depending whether they're a hero or a lord, and then they can gain an extra level. Some didn't, some only had access to level 1, some of the very sort of minor wizards in the game, and some couldn't go to level 4. But all really cool, and then obviously the 7 spells is a very 8th edition thing, with the sort of signature spell for each one. And so we then have spells fall into 6 categories. This is pretty similar to what we did. We did have, magic missiles and hexes and blessings and all that sort of stuff. So we now have enchantments. So this is things that empower us. Hexes are the opposite of enchantments, debuffing opponents. Conveyance is a new one. Transport spells, generally these were sort of put into enchantments before. Magic missiles, we know that. Magical vortex is a magical missile that sort of has a radius, very, very similar to some of the stuff we've had before. These are rolling globes of magical energy. I still have, to this day, the Storm of Magic vortexes, which are amazing. Assailment, these spells are deadly attacks that strike the foe without warning. So, couple of interesting ones. I'm interested to see what assailment, what the difference between assailment and a magic missile or a hex is. It maybe a combination of the 2. And so 6 types of spell. Enchantment and hex are used in the strategy phase. Conveyance in the movement, magic missile, magical vortex in the shooting, and assailment in the combat. Okay, so answer my own question here. It is really when these spells are used. These are cast in the appropriate phase, so units can end up enchanted or hexed. magically move when it's time to charge, or blast with arcane power when the rest of the shooting happens. This is cool. Like, I like that all of these are in the same phases. So if you've got an enchantment or hex, it's strategy phase. If you've got a conveyance, it's movement. There's none of these out of phase ones, or at least there isn't in the core consideration of the rules. And so each conjuration has a casting value appropriate to how complex it is. Spells are cast at 2 and 6, adding the casting skiller's level. It's a quicker system than was previously used with magic cards or pools of dice, leaving the tactical decisions of what to cast and when. We no longer have pools of dice. We no longer have winds of magic. It's simply spells are cast, 2d6, add your wizard level, try to hit a number. I'm fine with that being a system. This generally means that, each wizard gets to do their thing, but you're not potentially... We'll look at some unbinding stuff later, but probably answer my own questions. Miscast table, big fan of this coming back. I mean, this was part of the stuff that made fantasy so fun. I liked the fact that fantasy wasn't this straightforward thing. There were things that could just happen and derail best laid plans. The amount of times, I mean, I still remember one of my favorite things was playing one of my mates and his Dark Elves, and he had Power Drain, which doesn't do what it used to do. It used to remove like wizard levels, used to lose wizard levels, and I still remember his Dark Elf Sorceress losing all her wizard levels, and then I shot a cannon later, and what happened was essentially, she wasn't a wizard anymore, so her unit that she was sitting in obviously didn't care that much. She failed her lookout sirs and was squashed by the cannonball, as everyone's just like, well, you're not a wizard, you're not helping us anymore. But I've had things like, the explosions and all that happen where a Skaven wizard has miscast, teleported himself behind high elves and blown up with his own teleport spell, but then somehow survived on his own thanks to ward rolls, but killed most of the high elves he teleported behind. This does lead to some really fun and wacky moments. I've had orcs pop their skulls open. I've had Kara's Fate Weaver, one of his heads turned into a not wizard. Awesome stuff. And so, Magic's still very much a duel between opposing wizards. Possible to miscast should you roll a double 1, or to achieve perfect invocation irresistible force on a double 6. What's more, every spellcaster can attempt to dispel their opponent's conjurations, provided they're within 18 inch, first level, and 24 of 3 and 4. You roll 2d6 and add your level. If you beat the casting roll, the target spell is cancelled. A double 6 counts as unbinding, dispelling no matter the casting roll, and a double 1, you've been outclassed in the art and you must roll on the miscast table. This does make it seem like double 1s seem that even if you're trying to dispel, you must roll on it as well. What's more, both casting and dispelling rolls can be further modified by a wealth of magic items available to wizards, and by a number of special rules. If a player finds themselves unable to attempt a wizard dispel, they may make one fated dispel per turn, an unmodified 2d6 attempt. So, cool. Dwarves even have some recourse to the arcane. Runesmiths are perfectly capable of making dispel attempts. Nice. And so we get a closer look at one of the first spell singers to be released next year, the Bretonnian Handmaiden of the Lady. So at level 3, she can be upgraded to level 4. A damsel may be a level 2, so you've got the choice between the hero level and the lord level. And so she's going to have battle magic, elementalism, and illusion as access to. Pretty much what we expect, not too different, and of course can be mounted on a unicorn. She's at best when she's joined by a unit, as her aura confers magical attacks and magical resistance, as we can see, which is really nice. And then we've got battle magic here, signature spell Hammer Hands. This is an assailment, so just does some damage in combat. Glittering Robe for illusion is an enchantment to protect yourself, and elementalism, Storm Call. Pretty cool stuff all in. A simplified magic system is nice. What are you thinking of everything we've seen in here? I'd love to hear from everyone on what your own thoughts are. I'm really excited. I think this was definitely one of the phases that over the course of editions has had good and bad, and probably was the most disrupted phase during the course of multiple editions. It changed so much from edition to edition. So I'd love to hear everyone else's thoughts on it. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our great little community here, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description, and also linked down there are the best ways to help support the channel as well. Our Patreon and YouTube members down there are fantastic ways to help support the channel, and if you'd like to get a shout out like all these people, you can go and join up today. So with that said, we'd like to give a shout out to all our Patreon and YouTube members. So thank you to our Patreons: Rob B, Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimscold, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, Q Damac, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowe and Soren, and to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel196. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.